Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. My name is Donovan. I'm just going to go through the New Zealand Ireland game. It's going to be played in Ireland this weekend. I think this is the biggest game of the year so far. I think we've been waiting for this game for quite some time. So what I'm going to do is just go through the team sheets and a bit of the matchups that I see that's going to be happening. But firstly, let's talk to the New Zealand side. We've got Carl Kufe, Cody Taylor, Owen Franks, Brodie Retallick, Samuel Whitelock, Liam Squire, Ardie Savea, Kieran Reid, Aaron Smith, Beauden Barrett, Rieko Ioane, Ryan Crotty, Jack Goodhue, Ben Smith, Damon McKenzie. On the bench we've got Dane Coles, Ofa Tuangafasi, Nipo Lualala, Scott Barrett, Matt Todd, TJ Perinara, Richie Mwanga, and Anton Leonard-Brown. On the Ireland side we've got Cian Healy, Rory Best, Tide Furlong, Devin Toner, James Ryan, Peter Omani, Dan Levy, CJ Stander, Kieran Marmion, Jonathan Sexton, Jacob Stockdale, Bundy Aki, Gary Ringrose, Keith Earls, Rob Kearney, and then on the bench we've got Sean Cronin, Jack McGrath, Andrew Porter, Leon Henderson, Josh van der Vlie, Luke McGrath, Joe Carvery, and Jordan Lamar. So what I did was I took the caps from both teams and I put them from the starting and then the total caps. So the starting caps on the All Black side is 826 and on the Ireland side is 680. It looks like it's quite a big difference. I think the average works out on the New Zealand side is about 55 and on the Ireland side it's 45. But when I started comparing it to other international sides, I think the South Africans are sitting at 403, I think, or somewhere around that. Scotland's at about 480, so 680 is a pretty decent score. Then when I start looking at the bench, the total caps for the All Blacks are 1,056. They got really a lot more caps. And for the rugby for Ireland we've got 887. So it's still very impressive on both sides. So they're pretty well established sides. Looking at some of the matchups, I think I'm really looking forward to King Carl going up against Tide Furlong. I think it's probably one of the best loose heads, if not the best loose head, going up against, arguably, it has to be the best tight head in the world. Obviously, Brodie Retallick's always going to be a force to be reckoned with on the New Zealand side. The other big matchup, I think, is going to be looking at Beauden Barrett against Jonathan Sexton. Both of them are up for World Player of the Year. Personally, I still think Sexton should be World Player of the Year, but Beauden Barrett has had it for 2 years in a row now. If he gets it for a third year, I don't know what his contract when he goes to France will be. Maybe it'd be €2 million. Then I think the other big matchups are going to be in the back three. So on the New Zealand side, we've got Rieko Ioane, Ben Smith, and Damon McKenzie going up against Jacob Stockdale, Keith Earls, and Rob Kearney. I think looking at the caps, it's pretty well balanced. I think there's a little bit more experience on, not by much, on the Irish side, but I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of, depending if there's a lot of rain, I think there's going to be quite a lot of kicking if it's rain, a lot of up and unders. So yeah, I think my player there would probably be Ben Smith. Of all six of those players, I'd say is probably the best of those six players. Maybe if you're from Ireland, maybe you've got a different idea. But yeah, I think that's where the major headaches are going to come from. Looking at the centre pairings, I like Bundy Aki. I saw him last year when he took out Kuni Oosthuizen. So if you take out a tight head prop, you're pretty tough. But the centre pairing on both sides are, I know Ryan Crotty is he's an exceptional player. Jack Goodhue I've always liked, and I really like Anton Leonard-Brown coming off the bench. I think he's an exceptional player. The one thing that I know that the New Zealand have been employing for the last couple of weeks is they've been having Richie Mwanga coming on for Beauden Barrett, and then Beauden Barrett moving down, replacing Damon McKenzie, and Damon McKenzie coming off. I haven't really liked it, especially considering if I looked at that non-try from Sam Underhill last week, Beauden Barrett was really it was left and right, and he just couldn't couldn't tackle the guy. I just think 15 is I think Damon's a much better 15. But even still, I don't think he's a much better 15 than Ben Smith. But that's a question for another day. Coming back to the forwards, Liam Squire hasn't been rocking my world for a while now. I hope he has a good game. I think looking at Aaron Smith's probably going to put a lot of pressure on Kieran Morriman. I'm trying to see who's would be Luke McGrath. I think would be. I'm not sure. I'll just look at the numbers there as opposed to the actual players there. CJ Sun always gives go forward ball. Looking at the loose trio, Liam Squire, Artie Severe, Kieran Reid. Actually, I think it's pretty evenly matched. But yeah, and then we've got the front rows. I don't think. I wonder how Cody Taylor's going to do up against Rory Best, because I know he's really good. Owen Franks and Ken Healy are pretty evenly matched. But I wonder how long it's going to be before Dane Coles comes onto the field. I think last week when he came on, he really did bring a lot more X-Factor kind of playing. Cody Taylor's an exceptional hooker, but I don't think he's an X-Factor player, whereas Dane Coles is. But looking at the bench, I just know the New Zealand side a lot more than the Irish side, and I've always rated that bench. And if you look at the bench for New Zealand, it's an exceptional amount of caps. They bring on a lot of impact. Scott Barrett is excellent. I did in my Super Brew. I've predicted the All Blacks to win by 4. I still think it's going to be a tight game. A lot of people have been calling that it's going to be a draw this game. What do you guys think? You know, what do you think the score's going to be? Maybe put them down below. Where do you think the big matchups are going to be? Who do you think is going to be man of the match? If the All Blacks win, I'd say man of the match for me. I'm predicting. My wife's next to me here. If you watch my previous videos, I think my wife has a secret love affair with Damien McKenzie. She wants to trade me in for a younger model. So I must watch out. So he's not welcome in my country, Damien McKenzie, because my wife might leave me for him. She's giving me the look, so I must keep quiet. I'm looking at this. So she thinks Damien McKenzie is going to be man of the match, and I reckon if it's not Brodie Retallick, it'll be Ben Smith. But I think Brodie Retallick's probably going to have the game of his life, and yeah, so I think Brodie Retallick will be man of the match, and I believe the All Blacks will win by 4. But yeah, we are playing an Ireland. The only weakness I see in Ireland at the moment is their number 9. I'm not saying that Kieran Morriman is not very good. It's just the drop from. Oh, good grief! Now I've just forgotten the guy's name. You know who I'm talking about. It's just quite big. So yeah, I think that's going to be a bit of a problem at 9, but at 10, I don't think there's any problems. I don't think there's very few holes in the back row, and I think it's pretty evenly matched sides. My player that I've always liked is Ty Furlong. I think he's an exceptional player, and I see him also doing a lot of offloads and all of that. But listen, guys, please put your scores down below. Just looking forward to a cracking game of rugby on the weekend. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Chat soon. Bye.